Good morning, welcome, thanks for joining me. Today I've got a long-term project to announce. Project Streetfighter. Yep, I've got myself another bike. Before you all start insuring me, let me just announce that I plan to ride this bike in a safe as possible environment, that is a local bike, cart, car, supermoto, loads of different types of vehicles. Let's just call it the kart track, because Teesside karting is famous for being the longest, fastest kart track in the UK. So that'll give me ample opportunity to go fast in a straight line. And I want to learn how to pull a wheelie. Yep. I guess my midlife crisis has struck me slightly later on in life than many others. I'm currently 72, was brought up on bikes in the 50s, rode them in the 60s, 70s and 80s, including a run out on road race machines. So it's in my blood. Yes, I want to try and keep the blood inside my body coursing round, keeping going, but most of all, sorting out my mental health. 13 years ago, I lost my wife. We were 28 years married, brought up 3 children, who were all settled, married, in full-time work, with a good education. So we did our bit, then it was our time. Sadly, I lost Vanessa after a long-term illness. Anyway, back to the project. Project Streetfighter. I wanted a bike that I could pull a power wheelie, not a trials bike type wheelie where you bounce the forks and drop the clutch and accelerate and you stand up most of the time. No, not that. A power wheelie. Turn the throttle, go like the clappers, and the bike will lift. There may be some clutch work involved. There'll certainly be a selection of gears to choose from. But I want to be able to do it in a safe-ish environment, in a straight line, on private property. And that's why I got in touch with my old pal Bob Pope, took over Teesside karting many years ago, transformed the area and the industry, and he's now famous, and has been for many years, for his 24-hour kart races all over the world, including Teesside and Le Mans. So, good friend Bob has okayed it for me to arrange with Kat, his daughter, who runs the track, to take my bike out occasionally. Not exactly a track day, because that suggests there's other people. I hope to arrange, and it's in their hands of course, I hope to arrange where I can go and slot in when there's nothing else booked on the track, and I can just learn how to ride the bike, get back to going fast, and learn how to wheelie. What do you think so far? Are you with me? Yeah! Project Streetfighter. Get the merch. Join the club. Join us for the country's biggest picnic at the track, when you all come down to see Brian, aka F1 Pit Pass, blast his bike along the straight. So, what bike did I choose? Yamaha 600cc Thundercat. In standard trim, 100 brake horsepower, round about 150 mile an hour. Bearing in mind this was 1996 when it came out. YZF 600 was the model. Thundercat was its given name. There's a healthy and thriving Thundercat Facebook site, and I'll put the link in the description. If you have a Thundercat, why not join us? If you like to see Thundercats in action, come down and say hello. I'll be the one with a big moustache, the big smile, grinning from ear to ear. Since I bought the bike, I've never stopped working, smiling, enjoying it, loving it, breaking for cuppers and lunches, meals, that necessary evil to keep going. It's been a bind. I've been outside as much as possible with the bike in front of me, just learning about it. I mentioned I've had loads of bikes, but I'm giving this Thundercat a good once-over. I want to become an expert on Thundercats, track day prep, and how to enjoy the day. I mentioned I'm 72, so I don't rush about everywhere. And pushing, now this bike is it's lightened, but it's in the region of 350 to 400 pound in weight. So I don't take it lightly. When I'm moving it, I've got to take care that I don't lose control and fall over or drop the bike. So bear that in mind as we go along, that what you'll see isn't slow motion, it's just me moving slowly, trying to keep control. I bought it local to me at a bike shop in Boroughbridge, and again I'll leave the link in the description below. Keith of the bike shop of Boroughbridge, fantastic, a typical biker, easy to do transactions with, and even arranged delivery for me. So, how did I get the bike? Well, I saw it on an eBay auction with an eye-catching title. Something about stunt and wheelie machine. And it was within my budget, and I thought, that's just for me. But I had to go and see it because bikes, you either love them or you hate them, the styling. When I went along, Keith got his staff to pull the bike out, and I threw a leg over. First impressions were the seat height was fantastic. I could easily touch the floor either side, no tippy toes. That's conducive to falling over, being on tippy toes. So having a lowish seat height and a high bar, which you'll see in the photos, lends itself to the Streetfighter styling. The high bars were comfortable. Now, on the day I picked it up, the industrial unit the bike shop was in was situated in a very busy estate. So I wasn't going to ride it, weaving in and out of parked cars. I was quite happy to ask Keith to get one of his staff to give it a blast up and down the car park, spin it around and give it some beans. And that's what they did. First impressions, this is the bike for me. It sounded amazing, it accelerated, fantastic, more of that later. And the young chap that rode it, considerably lighter, younger, stronger than me, made mincemeat of the weight and the riding. So after it had been ably demonstrated, now you may say you really should ride it yourself. It could be covering up all sorts of problems. Well, every vehicle I've owned, I've ridden or drove and known in an instant, certainly within the first quarter mile, whether it was the vehicle for me. But let me just say, I'm also aware that bikes are not like choosing a car. I love my cars. I've got a Mini at present, and you'll see it on videos. I've had MGPs, I've had Capris, I've had open seater sports cars. So I've driven lots of cars, liked them or loathed them over the years, and some I never drove out to the compound. They were that bad. Others I took round the block and give the salesman the keys back, no chance. But getting back to the bikes, 26 years old, but what a stunner. Some love and prep has gone into this bike. Now, when we say prep, Thundercats didn't come in this guise. They had race fairings and a lowish bar. So it has been modded, and I'm in the present time, I'm in the process of establishing what's been done cosmetically, internally, mechanically. The fact that it accelerates so quick leads me to believe there's a gearing change. The shop did say it's got a bigger back sprocket, but it could well have a smaller front sprocket as well. So one of the little jobs I'll be doing is taking off the casing just to see what the gearing is, front and back. Just to get in my mind what I'm tackling with this bike. I mentioned wheelies. You want a lower gearing for acceleration and lifting the front wheel. Yes, it'll knock the top speed down, but that's inconsequential. I won't be doing anywhere near 150 on this particular bike at this moment in time. If I was to ever want to do that, then that's a whole different project and ball game. So don't be expecting videos with the title 150 mile an hour at Elvington. Don't be expecting that just yet. So, I'll put on a little video of it arriving and my first ride in the street. Don't put me down. I'm not wearing it. Every bike I've ever ridden, well, I've been in this house, in the back street, around, high speeds involved. Just wanted to bond.
Baby steps.
My latest project.
Just jumped up.
Yeah.
And of course, it makes content. So it's a mouthful F1 pit pass Streetfighter project. That's the name of the playlist. That's where you'll find all of the
You stay out the way.
modding, building, including modding a trailer to take the bike, because yes, I plan to tow it a few miles to the track. So, hope you'll join me along the journey.
Not over here.
Project Streetfighter. I'll try and answer any questions in the comments. fairly new to blasting it, doing wheelies, etc. So if you're into engineering and you like my content at all, join me along the journey as I continue to have fun. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. See you soon.